Well, hey guys, welcome back. As you know, we showed the new TPLC last week. We went over that. Now we're going to unload the OTMC and we're going to get it moved into the new LC bag so we can start running this now. And if you guys are enjoying this content, you love these Veto bags, you love this Vera tools, you love the Knipex tools, you love everything about this kind of life, hit that subscribe button down there and join our little community here. We love hanging out, talking tools every single week. I try to respond to every comment that I possibly can, so leave me one down there. I'd be happy to meet you. I'd like to know where you're from, too. It's really neat to me seeing where everybody comes from. You never know. Might just send you some channel stickers out, too. We have those available. So, anyway, we're going to get swapped over. I've been running this bag, beating this bag for a couple years now, ready to get moved into something a little bigger. As you can see, this thing is full to the gills. I'm going to see how it all fits into this bag, and if there's anything I can eliminate from this other bag and move it into one of my other Veto bags, I will. This is supposed to be primarily my plumbing setup and things I need an open top grab in the truck for. So let's get into it. Okay, to show you guys, I went ahead and pulled out the other V-swap that's just sitting in here, and this is the one with all those type of compartments. To me, that's a lot of fairly small stuff. I really wanted the one that had the larger pouches on out in the front. That may not be what I end up with, but I'll be between those two. This side is for sure just going to be the open side. I love the idea of being able to get some larger tools down in here, especially being a plumbing bag. I need, you know, even a couple of small pipe wrenches would be sweet. But let's get into loading this as well as unloading this and see where we can get to with this deal. So we have our big pipe cutters. These are 2.5-inch Superior tool. I have my little Knipex set here. This is a little set of pliers, wrenches, and I believe a little set of Cobras right there. I just keep those in there. Seems like there's always something real tight that I have to get into. And I'm not a big fan of wearing a bunch of stuff on my belt, but these pretty well live in this plumbing bag. Spare Fernco from the last job, a little coupler, some other stuff. A pair of glasses for some reason. Gloves. Channel locks. Not everything is Knipex. Drain wrench for tubs and stuff like that. Little Phillips driver. 2 Phillips drivers, a number 2 and a number 1 with a strike through Vera. Chisels. I've got a couple of beater Bailey Stanley chisels down in there. You never know when a pipe's going through a spot and you have to make that spot just a little bigger. Got a little miniature hacksaw. As many of these items as I can find, I will try to link to for you, but you need something like a little tiny hacksaw. Sometimes there's a pipe where you just can't get to it. And this is a little drain wrench right here. I think this is one I found in a rental, probably. Slip and lock nut wrench. Then a little water bladder for blowing out small lines. I'm really not a giant fan of those. I've got it in there for in a serious pinch, you know. Sometimes all else fails, you start getting desperate. But then I have an air blowout that'll connect, you know, right onto most size pipes. I got a 3/4 on here. Then you can back it out and use it on a 1/2 inch as well. But just a little air valve, you can connect your air compressor to lines to blow them out. Kind of handy. Got a little Vera ratchet in here, and that works combined with, I already moved this over, but combined with this deal here to give me a nice sink basin wrench. And I believe we'll find the rest of that down in the box here, but this combined with the Superior Tools Basin Buddy is my favorite all time for working on the bottom of sink nuts. Little wrench here, adjustable wrench, and this is a stop removal tool, like quarter turn stops and stuff. This screws onto the stop itself if you can't get a wrench there. You can screw it on, fits, you know, several different kinds, and then you can just turn it with itself. Kind of handy. Little shark bite removal tool there for 1/2 inch shark bites. A lot of times I use them for emergency repairs. I'll pop a shark bite on so I can run to the store and get what I actually need to get the repair done. So for me, it's a big deal to have them at least available. Little 12-foot tape, chameleon. Been a fan of those chameleons for a long time. Then the Lennox pipe cutters, tubing cutters in there, low profiles. Plumber's putty down in there. Loctite power grab, just a little squeeze deal of power grab. For what I've been using that for primarily is putting the plastic Odie access panels in. I'll glue them in with power grab. Then Knipex here. This is their 90-3102. This cuts from 1/4 inch to 1 3/8 pipe. Just a real nice all around. It's got a ratchet action to run it down quick, and then your normal action here on the back to tighten it on up. Quick release back and forth, real nice, and then has a deburring tool that pops out right here on the back. All replaceable as well, but real solid little tool there. Big fan of that one. Thank you to Knipex for that. Okay, here we go. Here is the Superior Tool Basin Buddy. You put this with this one, and this actually has a 3/8 adapter. And the reason for that adds another tool that's on this box. I have a 3/8 breaker bar on the end of here as well. And it's nothing fancy, just whatever brand it was. But snap that on there. If you get one that's super stubborn, give you some real power, you can go ahead and put an extension on that as well. So, I mean, you could even go ahead and use... There's so many options with this little set to go ahead and throw a breaker bar on there to break a sink loose. And this has the rotating plastic, so you can just go around on it there. But generally, I don't have to have all that extra force, and I'll just use this with the Vera setup right there. And that is absolutely perfection. That's the Superior Tools Basin Buddy for getting under a sink. So many options with this ratchet. You can run it down, use it to just spin it on and off. It's just a great setup. I have never found anything that I like better than that little kit right there for getting under a sink. So, let's see. We got some gas leak detection solution in there. We've got, looks like some glue down. We've got Cantex PVC conduit solvent cement. This, I use the plumbing bag also for, you know, conduit, electrical conduit and stuff. Then there is an entire bag. I just used a shark bite bag to keep a whole sack of little fittings down in here. Hopefully, moving to this bag, I can go ahead and use parts bags. The Veto parts bags, which are what is in my deck system. I've got like 16 of them probably in there. They have all different plumbing fittings in each one, divided up. From valves to dishwasher connections, everything. When I have a leftover fitting from an install that's brand new, I'll go ahead and stick it in here, and it's really handy in the future for getting these things done. Down in there also got a 1 1/4 inch to 1.5 inch reducer. Got my flame pad for when I'm soldering. I can put this behind it. It's one of those heat absorbing pads. Let's see what else we got down in here. Yep, gonna be more of my stuff. Lead-free flux. Got, let's see, plumber's grease in there, 300-degree plumber's grease. Kind of handy if you got a leaker. And it's in some fittings that you have to use that particular kind on. Got some solder in here. Let's see, Sterling premium lead-free solder right there down in that deal. And then usually a pair of gloves. These are my just-in-cases. I've got boxes of gloves in the truck, but I keep one extra pair stuffed in the plumbing bag because you never know what you might get into that you don't want to touch in a customer's house. So that's going to have this side of the bag empty and the center side. Let's see if there's anything else right down in those edges. Believe it or not, when I go digging, haha, shotgun shell, never know, huh? There's the cap, actually. That tells you that I don't ever put that cap on that little box. But that's another neat difference between this box and this one. And you can go ahead and move the old one over here. So if you want these and you use them for parts, maybe I will now that it doesn't take up like 1/3 of the center. You can fit 4 of these in this box. So kind of cool, actually. You could jam them all in there. But the new version has this little lid that actually is magnetic. So I'm probably going to keep that in there because it'll be nice for throwing screws right on while I'm working and not worrying about dropping them. Moving to the end, Milwaukee Inksol. You always need a stack of these in really every bag, whatever style of those you use. This was more specific. These came out of the Veto bag, the electrical bag or the drill bag the other day because I had to throw the Milwaukee SDS on here, little M12, so I could set some Tapcon strapping for some drain lines at the hotel the other day. Then, big stock of blades, always big stock, and I'm a big fan of these Lennox laser power blast technology. They kind of have the curved blade going on right here with it, so you get a really fast cut. I like them. They're working well for me, and then usually there's a stack of the wood cutting ones on the other end of the bag, but I had to get a new box yesterday. I ran out, but those are typically part of the bag as well. Go ahead and flip it around to the other end. We've got big, this is seriously beater screwdriver. There is a flathead like this in here also, or probably came out when I got it out, but big old Irwin drive-through, and I mean, she's been thrashed for a long time. Eventually, these need to be seriously upgraded to some Veras, probably. Go with the chisel driver style, but that's kind of what they have done to them. Little 1-inch bit here for getting your up to 3/4 pipes through a board. Then this entire deal here has always just been my flux brushes for when I'm soldering. There are, well, as many of them as I could squeeze in there. We've got a few little, you know, the throwaway flux brushes for this stuff right here for brazing. Anyway, got to have some of those in the bag. Moving here to the front, files. And there is a rat tail that's not in here right now. You know how it gets. We had a long week, and I just threw everything down, and I went fishing. That's what I did when I got back. So anyway, files. I've got one with the half round style and then a flat file, and usually this was a 3 set from Cobalt long time ago. They're just my beater plumbing files. So you need a set of those. You get into situations real nice to be able to clean up a pipe, clean up an area, whatever. My older version of my Bosch laser measurer is in this bag. This is the GLM 40. I've got the new Blaze that's in my main bag. But this lives in the plumbing bag. It's nice if you need to shoot real quick to get a length for a pipe or whatever. Works well. Got my door lifter in here. This is just a trend door lifter right here. When you get on these heavy doors and things, it also works as a stop if you're working in a room where the door auto locks when it shuts. I'll slide this under it and keep it from shutting on me. So just got it where I can reach in the door of the truck and grab it. There is a pair of wiring pliers here. They're just insulated, you know, Knipex insulated ones. And they're ones that have been around for a while. They've been worked on pretty hard, but I like to have a little pair of some type of pliers like that in there. Little pry bar in here also, just a little, I think it's a Danco or something. It's not even branded anymore, but just a little tiny pry bar. You can get in and work on something with it. And this is where my Bondus wrenches have ended up. I've got a set of Bondus right here. And kind of just if you're really in a spot where you need a beater wrench. That's what I use them for. They're made in the USA. They're decent wrenches, and you can grab them right on Amazon. Like I said, a lot of this stuff I'm going to try to link down below. If you see something that's not linked, let me know. I'll try to find a link for you. But this is as legit as it gets for a plumbing bag. These are the actual things that have been in here getting used a long time. This is a normal Vera screwdriver here that just fits everything, and it just takes the normal blades. You can just put any old 1/4 inch blade in here and turns it into a screwdriver. It's got the normal attachment for regular style bits on the tip. Just basic all around for the plumbing setup. But you can go ahead and put whatever you need to on the end of here to get into faucets and everything. Let's see. Oh yeah, here's an unsung hero. The Jam Bar. This is I don't know, I use this regularly. It's got teeth on one side, smooth on the other. This is for toilet bolts. When you get into those toilet bolts and you start unscrewing the nut and the whole bolt just keeps turning with it, you can take this, slide it in under the nut, drive it on in there till it comes right up in here and sets on that bolt. Then you can unscrew it. This will sit there and hold the bolt without boogering up the threads, grabbing the top with a wrench or something. You can go ahead and get the thing locked and get it done. Little cheapy, real handy, made in the US, RJS Tech Plumbing Specialties. Handy little tool. Throw it back up there again for you. That's one you need to throw in your bag probably. Cheap, worth having. Little punch, just a little Stanley Fat Max 1/8 inch punch. for obvious reasons. Another little tiny Vera driver, flathead strike through, and a Sharpie in there. And of course, whole stack of zip ties right here. You gotta have a few zip ties in every bag. I try to make sure of that. It looks like another SDS bit down in there, as well as one more thing that every plumbing bag pretty well needs, a roll of hanger strap. And I just use this plastic hanger strap usually when I'm hanging PVC or PEX or whatever. At least I've got something that's universal. I like to use the ones that are made for that size pipe, but if you're in a spot, you're on the job, and you need to get something to stop rattling or get it supported, whatever, you can go ahead and do it with that. So I think that pretty well takes care of that bag. But there's you a view of what the inside of that OTMC actually looks like and what it carries. You don't have the V-swap option. These are made right into the panels, so you end up with really tight areas to put larger tools. That's what I'm excited about with this. I can get my tubes of, you know, whatever, my power grab, my larger tools, all down this back side, and hopefully this will work out a whole lot better. So there's kind of an updated loadout of the OTMC before this becomes the new OTLC loadout with a few twists. We're going to have that coming up once it's done. But thank you guys for being here, checking out another awesome video this week. Remember to hit that like and subscribe button down there, and give me a comment if there's a tool in here that you've not seen before, you're curious about, or something that I'm missing in my bag. I know there's some stuff missing in this bag. It's just, you want to tell me where to put it in that one? I gave up a long time ago on getting any more tools in this thing, and it just kept growing height-wise, which is so unproductive and unprofessional to me. So hopefully this is going to bring a new level to that. We're going to throw this bag off to the side. She's had a beast of a life the last few years. Been thrashed around pretty hard. Held up really well. Can't complain, to be honest. Nothing wrong with the bag. We'll find some kind of a new use for it now. But see you guys on the next awesome tool video next week.